Hi, welcome to Take It to the House. I'm your host, Michelle Bundy, but I'm without my co-host, Greg Rashid, over here. He is away in D.C. visiting family for the holidays. So it's just me today, and we are coming off a crazy game here at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. To be honest, it was a little boring at first, but the Broncos decided, I guess, to give us a little bit of that anxiety that they've been known for these past couple of weeks and let the Kansas City Chiefs catch back up. Luckily, though, Broncos did come away with the win. So it's all good, and as soon as the game was over, people weren't even talking about that game. They were already on to the whole Oakland scenario. So that being said, it's a big game. I'll be spending a lot of the time we have this week showing the footage from the players in the locker room, because I think that's most fitting. What we need to do is spend time on those guys who were able to come away with that win and just how hard they're working going in here into Oakland. So let's start off. Let's go down to Brian Griese and listen to his press conference and what he had to say about this coming game, and then we'll move on to Shanahan and then to Shannon Sharpe.
As a kid growing up, this is the type of game that you always dream about playing in, and this is a quintessential playoff game for us.
Can you remember playing a bigger game personally during your NFL?
No, I can't. And I was thinking about that the other day, and this is probably the biggest game that I've played in my career in the NFL, without a doubt, by far.
I think we'll be playing in a great environment. We know what type of team the Raiders are. They've been playing exceptionally well. Number 1 ranked offense, number 12th ranked defense. And I think the environment that you play in is something that you look forward to. Obviously, we all know how important the game is, but the atmosphere is exciting, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to play a football game and visit some inmates while you're out there. But but other than that,
That'll go to ESPN.
well, but while you're out there, you might as well play a football game. So that's what we plan to do. We plan to go out there and visit some people. I don't know if I got any friends or relatives out there, but since I'm out there, I'll play a game and visit those guys at the same time. Well, obviously, it's one of the biggest games. I think it ranks right up there because this is for all the marbles, and you can look at it two ways. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's come down to this. And I think on the bright side, a couple of weeks ago, we pretty much thought we were out of it, and now we control our own destiny. And we're going into a hostile environment. We understand that, but we won there before. And so obviously we feel confident that we can go out there and get the job done again if we just take care of the football and do the things that we know we need to do to get this win. But the thing is with that is that we knew the winner of that ball game went to the Super Bowl. We know there's no guarantee the winner of this game is going to, even make you're going to make the playoffs, but you don't know how far you're going to go in the playoffs. As far as a regular season game, no, I don't think I've ever been in a game of this magnitude with all the marbles riding on the line. And basically, it's come down to this. And, this is our most feared, our most hated rival, and likewise for them. There's no love lost between these two teams. It is a very tough, hard-fought, it's a knockdown drag-out. And that's what you expect, and we expect nothing less. But I think this is a game where if you're capable of going, you go. I think at this time of the year, everybody's a little beat up. Not just the Raiders, but I think we have some injuries on our squad. Everybody around the league is beat up. I mean, week 16, you don't find very many healthy bodies. But a game of this magnitude, somehow you find a way to get yourself out there and find a way to try to make plays to help your team win. And so we don't expect anything different. We expect the guys that they listed on the injury report to be out there playing unless they're definitely out. Well, you still have Al over there. That's one of the things. And Mike's over here now, but we had John, and then it didn't cool off. They still, I remember when I first went to Baltimore, I looked on the thing, and they tried to knock Griese out of the ball game. So the way they play football has always been the same, is always going to be the same. And as I know, as long as I'm here, they're always going to be our rival. And even when I'm gone, they're still going to be the Broncos' main rival. And we don't particularly care for those guys, and I know the feeling's mutual on that side. But the one thing is that you have a lot of respect for them because you know they're going to give you their best effort. But by the same token, we're going to put our best effort for it also.
Leave it to my good buddy Shannon Sharpe to go and say something like that as far as going up there to visit some inmates. I know, I'm sure when those people hear that up there, they're not going to be too happy, but that's all right. It just adds fuel to the fire, and gave us all a good chuckle there in the press conference. So he's always good for that. It was funny. One thing that we didn't see in that press conference is somebody made a whole load of gingerbread cookies and decorated them as far as different players and numbers, and on Shannon's it had the big open mouth. So and when he saw that, he's like, yep, that's my cookie, and he knows it. He knows he has a big mouth, but it's all good. It's all in fun. But let's move along. Why don't we go ahead and start off with Kanoy and keep with this theme as far as this being the biggest game. Kanoy kind of gave me a chuckle as well when a reporter asked him if, what was the last biggest game that he remembered. Let's take it down to Kanoy.
What was the biggest game you can remember playing up until now, Kanoy?
The one last week, So if we lost the one last week, it wouldn't have counted. It doesn't even matter, So the one last week.
Aren't Brown and Rice supposed to be getting old by now?
Yeah, I thought so. Those guys, I think Jerry is, 40 or something like that, So, I mean, my dad, I was talking to my dad. He was like, man, the guy's 40 years old. He's almost old as me. And he's still out there running around with you young boys, So, I mean, those guys, age well, and take care of their bodies, and they still has what it takes to get it done.
Is it more than speed? They have to have lost a little bit through the years. I mean, you look at them, they say they run the best routes in the league, or they have some kind of intangible that helps them be successful still, or...
Oh, yeah, they run great routes. Like I said, they've lost a step or two, but they still can run.
It seems to be the consensus as far as this being a big game. Why don't we go down and listen to some of the defensive players who I think are going to have to come out with one of their best performances so far. So let's go down to, we have Monte Reger, Bertrand Berry, Tyrone Poole, and as well as Lionel Dalton, the always funny, always entertaining Lionel. Let's go down to those guys.
We both have the same thing riding on this game, and I think it's going to be critical that we make at least 3 more plays than they make. I don't really know the scheme yet right now, and I can't really tell you that anyway, because we know everything's secret right now. This is the biggest game of the year, so I can't let anything leak out.
Yeah. Is this one of the biggest games of your career?
It's one of them, definitely. If playoff game. This is one of our first playoff games. I actually played in the Super Bowl, but this is one of the biggest games of my career. One of them.
Doesn't matter what position you play. Experience, knowledge comes with experience, and he's a knowledgeable quarterback, and those are the type of quarterbacks that you really have to make sure as a defense that you dot and cross all your I's and T's. But it's a good challenge. There's a big game coming up, and we feel just as they do that we have every opportunity to win it.
Well, they've said pretty much everything. Some things I'd rather not say, but they have their names and jokes for everyone. So you just got to prepare for it. Even you guys. So y'all just get ready for it.
Yeah, we know it. I get the feeling, though, that you guys get more of a kick out of it as opposed to, being worried about it and sensing any kind of danger.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. You love to hear that. And, and like I said, you use that as motivation to go in there and try to take advantage of that. And, after the game, if you come out with the W, you can wave at them and tell them thanks a lot.
Keep your helmet on, though.
Hey, you got to, because they'll throw everything they can at you.
One thing I like that Izell Reese said is the playoffs started 3 weeks early for them. The big Kansas City game, if they wouldn't have won that one, as you heard Kanoy, this one wouldn't have mattered. And then they have Oakland, and then obviously they still need to get Arizona, even though that's probably not as big as a game, it's still necessary. So why don't we go down and listen to Izell?
I think so. I mean, when we looked at film, that's the reason why guys are saying it. When we look back at the film, we weren't as aggressive as we played before and as we played in other games. I mean, we played a little more passive than we have before, and so definitely we got to play more aggressive, and we definitely got to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, Kanoy says no more pity pat. Is that the term you'd use?
That's a good term. That's a good way of putting it. Pity pat. Yeah, we got to play aggressive football, especially against a team like the Raiders and the way they've been playing. I mean, you got to be physical with a team like that, and you got to hit them every time, and every chance you get, you got to be physical with them. So that's what we got to do.
When you guys watch tape of that first game, do you not recognize the Broncos defense? Do you think? I mean, was it just a strange kind of night where things snowballed?
That's the way it looked. I mean, when we look at that film, it's not everybody swarming to the ball like we always see guys doing on defense, and everybody making plays, and everybody, we got to make some plays against those guys. That's another crucial thing. If they're going to throw the ball as much as they do, we got to come away with some turnovers. So, I mean, they're playing do-or-die football right now with their offense, so we got to come away with some turnovers when they're passing the ball that much.
When you say aggressive play, do you mean maybe a different defensive scheme?
No, I'm just saying aggressive. I mean, as far as making tackles and everybody swarming to the ball and being more aggressive and being more quick about reacting to certain plays that we see. And that comes from watching film. We got to watch a lot of film this week, and we got to read route recognition and so forth and things of that nature. So we just got to do whatever it takes to be more aggressive as far as playing the pass and as well as swarming to the ball as well and tackling too. No, I haven't. I mean, this is the playoffs, basically. I mean, you look at the position we're in. This is a playoff game. I mean, it's not regular season anymore, not for us and not for them. I mean, this is a big game, and this is a crucial game for us. So, this is our play. The playoffs start right here. It actually started for us last week, and this is just another phase in the playoffs. It started 3 weeks early for us.
Besides just swarming the ball, though, I think one of the big things, one of the key things is going to be offense. We've got to get into that end zone. Last time against the Oakland Raiders, they were held to just 10 points. That was the lowest game that they've had all year, the lowest scoring game. So the offense is really going to have to step up. And yeah, I'm sure it all started to spiral last time when Shannon dislocated his elbow and the whole Romo controversy, and that just made everybody mad. I don't think they could ever recover. But Brian is going to have a career performance game. And he says that too. He says this is probably one of the biggest ones he's played in his career. And, I know there's been a lot of greasy haters out there, and I can't necessarily say that I've been his #1 fan either. But let's go down to Keith Burns and listen to what he says as far as if he's ever going to be able to get past that reputation. Let's take it to Keith.
I mean, well, no, he will never silence the critics. It's because of the simple fact of where he's playing at. So he can't worry about that. I mean, his job is to go out there and just, control the ball club like he's been doing all year. And I think that's something that, everybody sees him doing now. So everybody, I think, in this locker room is ready to ride his coattail. And basically, he knows that we only go as far as he takes us.
The Broncos just didn't seem to have the correct mindset. They didn't seem to have the attitude they needed to get it done. But Rod Smith said that they have the mindset. They have the mindset now to go in and get it done. I don't know what's changed. Maybe now that they have their backs up against the wall and it comes down to everything that they've worked for is on the line. Hopefully that's what helps out. But why don't we go down and listen to Rod and his press conference.
This is by far the biggest regular season game in my career. I don't think regular season games come down to what this game is going to come down to for us and them. It's huge playing a rivalry it's hard to describe, really. It's going to be fun. I think that's one approach we do have to have is kind of relish the moment, because I think it's going to be special.
Going to bring him anything special?
Hopefully we score a lot of points and they don't score a lot of points. That's all I can say. Hope we can get them that for Christmas. That's the only thing I can wish for. We have a lot of guys. We kind of got ourselves back in the position where we control our own fate, and we need to take advantage of the opportunity.
Are you drooling a little knowing that the two starting corners, one definitely won't play, and one's going to try and hobble out there on a broken leg?
Not really, because they have pretty good depth. Shaw's guys been around a while, and and their defense usually, their thing is their pass rush is great. So their corners usually don't have to hold up a long time. But at the same time, my thing is for our team to win.
There's been a lot going on in Denver this week in sports. You've all heard the drama with the Avs firing their coach. We won't even get into that because I'm irritated beyond belief. And then there was the Nuggets trading Posey. And you heard us just, 2 weeks ago, talking about the possibility that the Avs would do this to their coach, and that the Nuggets, they get a good player, and what do? They say, oh, okay, we'll give you a couple years, we'll train you, and then we'll move you on, ship you elsewhere. I don't think they have a player that's been around longer than 2 years, maybe 3, maybe, and I think you'll be hard-pressed to find one of those. But, that's one thing that really impresses me about the Broncos. And I've got to say, Pat Bowlen, I respect you for sticking by Shanahan's side. If you were like the Avs owners, you would have got rid of him after that last Super Bowl, after a couple games into the season. And that's one thing that I respect, is somebody that shows loyalty, is loyal to their players, is loyal to their coaches, and just the whole camaraderie, we're in it for the team, not for the sake of, oh, show it to me now, give it to me now. Let's take the time and build a good team. It takes time to build a team. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent, but it's just that thing happens sometimes. But other than all the letting go, the good stuff that happened is both Al Wilson and Trevor Price were voted to the Pro Bowl. And, you know, unfortunately, none of the offensive players were voted this year. But after all the drama that Trevor experienced in the media this past week, you know, a lot of people were asking him today, do you feel vindicated, or do you think it's ironic that now you are voted to the Pro Bowl? And of course, they were trying to make something out of it. And they really didn't spend much time talking to him about his thoughts of making the Pro Bowl. Instead, they were asking him about, you know, oh, well, what did you think about Shanahan calling you out, and what did you do this, and what did you do? It went on for 10 minutes. They just kept asking the same question over and over and again, trying to stir it up. But why don't we take it down to Al, and then we'll go down to Trevor and listen to his response to this whole Shanahan incident. This is the first time he's actually spoken to the media since then. And then we'll also, why don't we listen to Ian Gold talking about Al Wilson and just how he puts it together for the team and how he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl.
Because I actually made it this year. You know, I'm not an alternate. It's a good feeling, man. You know, for me and my teammates, you know, I definitely couldn't do it without them. You know, they gave me an opportunity to make a lot of plays, and I just tried to do that.
You find it ironic that after all the criticism the defense has taken this year, the only two guys going to the Pro Bowl are on defense?
Well, it's a coincidence, man. You know, there's a lot of good players in the league, man. Just so happened, Trevor and I were chosen. You know, I'm very honored. You know, it's a very humbling experience, and you know, I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see anything that was said. I didn't see it. And people can interpret it the way they want to. I interpret it as you try to get his team fired up. Like I said, I didn't see what was said or read or anything. I stayed as far away from him as I possibly could. Because I didn't. I know some people try to tell me this or that, but you know, I was I was born to sit and playing a good game than, you know, trying to pick a fight in the media.
What was your take on that whole thing? I mean,
There was no take. I didn't have a take.
Were you angry with it? Were you
No.
amused by it? Were you?
No, it's one of those things where you know, why put fuel in a fire? You know what I mean? And everybody's looking for something to write about and talk about. And fine, you want to talk about me, that's fine. You know, I can deal with that. But I'm not gonna help you talk about me, so decided to stay away from it. It's over with. It's done, and you know, I gave my all. I got hit in my thigh one game, and I played 70 snaps in other games. So you know, it comes with the territory. Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it, because that's where I am now.
One person that we all expected to make the Pro Bowl this year was Mike Anderson at fullback. He's been leading the fan votes for the fullback ever since voting began. He's been the #1 fullback, but it just goes to show you that sometimes it doesn't matter how much the fans like you. You also have to be popular with the coaches and with the players and the other people that vote. So, you know, let's take it down to Mike. And Mike's always humble. I like Mike. He's a nice guy, you know, fun to be around. He's a straight shooter. But let's listen to him talk about Portis. And some people think that maybe even Portis should have got it. Let's go down to Mike Anderson.
We got to get the first down when we need them. I mean, we just got to execute.
And Clinton, do you see him feeling the pressure at all in this big game?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
We'll see come Saturday when we take off, and see how he's acting. You know, what kind of mood he's in, and we'll just see. But I mean, this don't get no bigger than this, I don't think, especially during the season. I feel like he should have. I mean, he's playing like a veteran. I mean, he's playing like a guy who's been in the league more than a year. You know, so I mean, but that's the way it goes. You know, and I explained it to him that that kind of happened to me too my first year. I mean, it just happened that way. You know.
It takes a while to get that reputation.
It does. You just got to keep working. You got to work. You got to earn it. You got to earn it. It's not going to just come to you. You got to earn it.
You think you were going to get as
I thought the possibility was there, but I mean, I remember, like I said, my rookie year and how that went. So it's like one of those situations. You don't get too high about it. You don't get too low about it. If it don't happen, I mean, you just got to keep working.
Do you feel you were deserving this year?
There's a lot of guys out there deserving, and I'm a guy that just started playing the position, and it's been a learning process for me all year. So I mean, if I'd have got in, that'd have been great. If not, I mean, it's okay too, because I'm just, like I said, I just started that position.
You heard Mike say that Clinton's playing like a You heard Mike say that Clinton is playing like a veteran, and he really is. If you look at his stats, The funny thing is he's almost mimicking what Mike Anderson did a couple years ago, and he ended up getting the Rookie of the Year. So hopefully Clinton will follow in his footsteps. But why don't we take it on to Clinton and talking about next week's game, what they're going to have to do, and as well talking to one of his buddies down there at Miami who was up for Heisman and didn't get it. Let's go down to Clinton.
We fought our way into a position where we can make the playoffs and win the division. So it starts in Oakland Sunday, and we got to pull it off.
Do you feel now a lot of this is on your shoulders, the team's week game planning to specifically stop you?
Y'all ain't gonna put that pressure on me. It's on the team's shoulders. We just got to go out and win. You know, we gonna run the ball. We gonna throw the ball. It's our game plan. We got to go out and execute it and get the job done.
In your mind, a lot of it is keeping the ball away from their offense, so the longer your offense is on the field, the better off you guys will be?
No, we got to score points. We can't try to keep the ball and run time off the clock. I mean, we're going out to play football. I don't think things are going to change where we're going to try to ball control and not let their offense on the field. We're confident in our defense, and we got to go out and put up points, and hopefully we stop them.
What do you know, or what have you heard about playing out there?
We know it's going to be rough, and the situation that it is, I mean, with both teams trying to get into the playoffs, don't make it any better. So we know it's going to be rough, and we know what we got to do.
How do you think they're going to perceive your confidence in Oakland, knowing their crowd?
I'm going to tune them out. I got these little earplugs you put in and just go out and play. You know what I'm saying? Warm up and do what I got to do. I don't care how they perceive it. I got to go out and play.
Were you thinking Pro Bowl?
No, how can I be thinking Pro Bowl? I'm thinking playoffs. I mean, we get to the playoffs, Super Bowl. Like I said, everything else is extra. So Pro Bowl, Rookie of the Year, all that's extra. It's nice, but it's extra.
Never crossed your mind?
I mean, I would love to go to the Pro Bowl, but you know what I'm saying? Pro Bowl is individual. We trying to accomplish things as a team here. So if I was thinking Pro Bowl, I can go out and say, oh, be selfish, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. But you know what I'm saying? It's team. If I get to the Pro Bowl, fine. If I don't, my day will come.
You surprised nobody from this offense and Mike Shanahan offense as well in the Pro Bowl this year?
I mean, you don't know what to expect. It's the NFL. Things are wide open. It's a lot of good players on other teams, on every team. So I'm sure our time will come here with our offense.
They got a pretty good defense against the run, don't they? They've stopped some pretty good guys the last couple of weeks.
Well, their offense put them in positions where you take teams out of the run. You know, you're trying to throw the ball and catch up. So, I mean, again, you go out and game plan. You know, we have a pretty good defense to stop the run, but Priest and LaDainian both exposed it. So, on any given Sunday, anything can happen.
You've been in a big championship game where you have been favorites. You guys are underdogs this game. Is there a different mindset going in?
Well, it's good to be an underdog sometimes. You know, teams tend to overlook you, but I'm sure we won't be overlooked. I mean, it's been games where we were the favorite and we lost. So being in a different position, playing a different role, takes some of the pressure off of us. We can go out and play.
Are you feeling better?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling better. I mean, if the weather stopped changing every 5 hours, I'll be all right. But, I mean, now I'm stopped up, but I'm feeling good. I talked to him before the Heisman. I haven't talked to him after. I mean, I got my own business to take care of, and we've been trying to accomplish things around here, so I haven't been on the phone too much. I mean, again, you win the national championship, you forget about the Heisman and all that. I mean, Crouch won the Heisman last year. We won the national championship. Nobody talking about Crouch. Our streak's still going, so you want to win the national championship.
Portis has become the hot topic in the media. Now they're asking all the players about him as well, hopefully to probably boost his standings in the media and in the surrounding community. But one of the funny guys that always has a lot to say about Portis is Shannon Sharpe. Shannon just loves to give Portis a hard time. I think it's all in fun. And he said, it was funny, he said this week that he didn't think that Portis was sick this past game, that he was just milking it. Had me cracking up. But why don't we go down to Shannon and listen to what he feels about Clinton and maybe compare him to TD as well. Let's go down to Shannon again.
Well, it obviously has a lot to do with the program because, you know, I've met a lot of guys, and the first guy that I met from Miami was actually with a linebacker named Bernard Clark. We played in the bowl game together, and when I got here, Melvin Bratton was here. And every guy that's from Miami, whether he's a running back, a wide receiver, a defensive back, defensive lineman, it really doesn't matter. They have that same persona. They just believe that they're better than you are. And I guess that's why they've enjoyed the success that they've enjoyed over the years. Clinton is very, very confident, and he should be, because he has ability that I haven't seen, that I haven't witnessed in a running back personally. I don't think in the league. Yeah, maybe Terrell was probably a better downhill runner, maybe a better of a slasher, but Terrell couldn't touch his speed. I mean, this guy can take any type of route, any type of handoff, and he can take it to the house 70, 80 yards. And you find very, very few backs in this league that have that kind of ability. No, I think he was milking it. I don't really know if he was as sick as he led on to be. I don't know. One minute he was dancing in the end zone, the next minute he's sick. Some doesn't compute with that. Chef, I think we have to do some homework on that one. No comment. No comment. I was not dancing. I just happened to be on the field, and he was out there, and I was doing something. He was doing something entirely different. No. No. Man, Terrell Owens, man, I'm mad I didn't think of that one. That was awesome. I love that, man. That tops the Sharpie, no question about it. But it's hard when you got 1,250 yards, 14 touchdowns. It's hard. Terrell was humble, but in his, he didn't have the outward presence that. But Terrell was a very, in the locker room, Terrell was a very, very confident young man. Portis is different. He wears it on his sleeve. He's out there, he's laughing and joking, he's carrying on because he knows that with his ability. But there's a difference. TD was a 6th-round draft pick. There was not a whole lot of expectation. They drafted Clinton Portis with the ambitions of taking over for Terrell one day. And it happened a lot sooner than probably everyone envisioned it. But the guy his potential is just unlimited. I mean, I don't know if there's a back in the league that can match him. Maybe the guy up in Minnesota, Michael Bennett, that can match him foot speed for foot speed. But there's nothing he can't do. If we get him to take care of the football a little better, the sky's the limit.
Well, we'll see what happens this Sunday up in Oakland. It's bound to be one of the best games, as you've heard everybody say, so far this year, if not in a couple of years. It's almost like we're in the playoffs finally. So make sure you catch it. I'm off to Oakland. I will be there in the press box, on the field, and in the locker room to get all the inside scoop. But we're about out of time for this week, and I'm your host, Michelle Bundy. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I know this is our last show before the holiday season. I hope everybody has a great time with their families and friends and loved ones, and hopefully we'll get a little snow. Oh, but before I go, one last thing. Make sure you support your high school sports. I know Greg would want me to say that. He asked me to, as a matter of fact, and he said that he thinks the Oakland Raiders are going to beat the Broncos by a score of 27-16. I don't know where he came up with that number, but obviously he was smoking something. I don't know. But I think the Broncos are going to come out on top, and they will be victorious, and they will take Arizona as well to move them on into the playoffs. And hopefully they will. I asked them to do it just for me. So tune in, make sure you check it out. And next week, we won't be on. We're all going to be at home enjoying the holidays with our family and friends. So we'll probably run a rerun. Sorry, guys, but we want to enjoy it. So catch us in 2 weeks. And I'm your host, Michelle Bundy. That's it. Merry Christmas.
Cold outside. I gotta go to practice. I can't talk to the media right now. Okay?
If you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment, would you capture it? Just let it slip. Yo.